I'm Gigi Stone. Welcome to ABC News Now. Silver Lining, a place to talk about help, hope, and how the human spirit bounces back after disaster. Now, it's hard to escape thoughts of disaster in the 2 weeks since the tsunami struck. In everyone's hearts around the world, the plight of children does seem the most pitiful. So very many were killed, and of those that remain, many are orphaned. And that is where the organization that Chris Zappia works for comes in. He is the executive director of SOS Children's Villages USA. Thanks so much for joining us, Chris. And you work with the USA branch of a worldwide organization. Tell us a little bit about it.
SOS is the largest children's welfare organization in the world. We were founded in 1949 in Austria as a response to all the orphan children from World War II. Today, we are operating in 132 countries and raising over 54,000 children. One of the things that's unique about our organization, there's a lot that's unique about our organization, but one of the things that's very unique about our organization is we always try to keep biological brothers and sisters together so they can grow up as a family.
It's really wonderful. And you've been nominated for the Nobel Peace Prize 12 times, the organization has.
That's correct. And in 2002, we also won the Conrad and Hilton Humanitarian Prize, which is a $1 million award. We put that whole $1 million towards children's AIDS projects in Africa.
Well, you've been supported by so many people worldwide, and your official spokesperson at the moment is Sarah Ferguson, the former Duchess of York. And she prepared a little short piece that you provided where she tells us why she's involved.
When SOS Children's Villages asked me to be the spokesperson, it's just what it is. It's about the heart, it's about giving back, it's about always telling the truth and being honest, being steadfast, being reliable. A child's life is like a piece of paper on which a person leaves a mark. And so it's up to us to leave the right mark, isn't it?
With 442 villages in 131 countries, SOS Children's Villages provides a loving home and a family for over 52,000 of the world's abandoned and abused children. This care continues to adulthood. Winner of the 2002 Conrad N. Hilton Humanitarian Prize and nominated more than a dozen times for the Nobel Prize, SOS Children's Villages operates kindergartens and primary schools, job training centers, and medical centers from Guatemala to Angola, India to the United States. Every child is given a parent, and biological brothers and sisters are not separated. Each SOS family has a house of its own. The ethnic culture of the country in which the children live is honored as an integral part of growing up. A feeling of belonging is nurtured in every home. SOS Children's Villages recently broke ground on a new village in Battambang, Cambodia. The village, funded by donations to SOS USA, will house 150 children, including 30 children orphaned by AIDS, and will include a kindergarten and a social center for the surrounding community. The ceremony was attended by the Deputy Prime Minister of Cambodia. Orphaned Cambodian children are rescued from dire circumstances and placed in SOS villages to grow up together with other children in a true family setting. The effect is profound.
There isn't another place that I know of in the United States of America that provides this kind of attention for children really that have been through so very, very much. SOS Children's Villages provides the permanency, the support, the ability for these children to be able to take their shoes off and really kick back and learn about healing and learn about their lives. And if as spokesperson my voice can carry a bit of wind, well then I'll fly in the wind.
Tell us a little bit about the work that your organization's been doing in the region affected by the tsunami.
In that part of the world for many years. We've been in India for 35 years, and in Thailand, and in Sri Lanka, and in Indonesia for 25 years. Because we were already there on the ground when the tsunami hit, we were able to immediately respond with our people on the ground. We are currently operating 13 child relief centers in southern India. And we're taking care of right now about 6,000 children in those child relief centers, feeding them, giving them a place where they can feel safe, trying to bring the families back together. We will also be adding 2 new villages, building a new village in Sumatra and a 6th village in Sri Lanka in anticipation of some of these children not being able to be reunited with their families in the future.
And we have some individual stories about children we want to hear about. We have a picture of an adorable little girl named Mina. We want you to tell us about her.
Yes, Mina is a little girl from southern India. She's about 18 months old. She didn't have a father. Her mother had gone down to the sea that morning, the morning of the tsunami, to clean some fish. Never saw her mother again. Mina is now with us in one of our child relief centers in southern India.
Oh, she's so adorable. And then we have Kavita.
Kavita, that's another story. What we've tried to do, if you go onto our website, you can see some of these stories about the individual children. We've seen the pictures on the news of the tsunami hitting and the vastness and the enormity of the situation. What we're trying to do is to give a little bit more of a personal human touch to the stories so that people will understand a little bit more of the individual child's dilemmas.
Sure. And for children who cannot be reunited with their families, tell us a little bit about the villages that you set up.
Well, we currently operate over 450 villages around the world. Each village has anywhere from 10 to 15 houses. Each house has anywhere from 5 to 10 children, depending on the culture of the country. The children, we keep them biological brothers and sisters together, and we raise these children as brothers and sisters. So even though there might be some children who are not biological brothers and sisters, they stay with us. If they come into our village when they're 1 year old, they stay with us until they graduate from university, and SOS takes care of everything for them. So we actually create families where there would not be families before. And I'm sorry.
No, who actually raises them?
The people who, the parent or parents who live in the house, they work for SOS, but they live there 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, 365 days a year, and they raise these children like their own. So for all intents and purposes, the mother in that house becomes the mother of these children. I used to work in the Middle East for 2 years. I was a regional director in the Middle East, and we have villages there that have been there for 35 years, and I saw boys and girls who were now in their 30s and 40s bringing their wives and husbands and their children back to the village to meet their grandmothers. So it's a very unique thing that we do.
Wow. Okay, we're going to take a short break and come back and find out what SOS Children's Villages is actually doing here at home, so stay tuned. We're back on Silver Lining talking with Chris Zappia, the Executive Director of SOS Children's Villages USA. And we've been talking about your efforts to help children devastated by the South Asian tsunami, but you're also helping children closer to home.
That's correct. Here in the United States, we have 3 villages currently. We have a village in Florida, just outside of Fort Lauderdale, in a place called Coconut Creek. And we have 2 villages in Illinois, one in a place called Lockport, which is about 45 minutes south of Chicago. And we just opened up our 3rd village, which is in downtown Chicago. Mayor Daley is a strong supporter of ours. So the city of Chicago donated the land and the money to build the first urban village, which we just opened up in August.
How big are they? How many people involved?
In each of our villages, we have about 55 to 60 children. About 5 children per house is the average in the U.S. And in Western Europe, because it's closer to what the standard family size would be here in the United States.
And Johnny Cash, actually, the singer, is involved in Man in Black, and he has his own village. Well, he had.
Johnny Cash was a 30-year supporter of ours. He used to have a vacation home in Jamaica, and back in 1975, he got to know SOS in Jamaica. So with his own money, he built one of the houses at the village in Jamaica. He would go to the village every time he was there and entertain the children and raise money for the village. Roseanne Cash, Johnny Cash's daughter, is carrying on his legacy with us now. She's a strong supporter of ours, and she's helping us to raise the awareness level about our work here in the United States to Americans, because people in the U.S., most of them have never heard of us before.
And these villages are not foster care, but explain the difference.
Well, we fall under the foster care umbrella here in the United States. But the difference between us, our children come to us here in the U.S. through the foster care system. But the difference is that most of the children who are with us in our villages here in the U.S. have bounced from foster home to foster home, 5 or 6 foster homes before they come to us. The idea behind what we do is we provide the permanency, the stability, a real family life that these children had been lacking before. We have a strong support team around the mothers and the fathers in our villages with psychological help, with integrating them into the community so that they don't feel like they're any different than any other children.
Why are there so many children in the U.S. in foster care that aren't in villages like yours?
Well, one of the main reasons is because we only have 3 villages right now. We would love to have 50 villages in 50 states. It's expensive to do this in the United States, and until more people here know about SOS, it's going to take us a little while to spread out. Once people find out what we do as an organization, they tend to get pretty passionate about it.
How do you choose the parents and children?
We go through a very strong, in-depth background screening. So anybody who is going to become a parent here in the U.S. goes through a complete FBI background check. Before you can become a parent with your own house and children in SOS, you go through a 12 to 18-month training program, which I think is probably more than most parents who are not SOS parents go through when they have their own children at the beginning. But because our children have been through an awful lot in their lives before they've come to us, it's important that the parents, the SOS parents, really understand how to work with these children.
Where do you get your funding from?
85% of our funding, it comes from private individuals. We get very little government funding as a global organization. We get very little corporate funding as a global organization. It's mainly individual donors.
Have you seen an influx in funding after the tsunami?
We have. And again, because we are not as well known as some of the other large aid organizations here in the United States, there's been a lot of traffic to our website. We've seen lots of checks coming in, so it's definitely made a difference.
And tell us, if people want to donate or get involved, where to go?
The best way that they can donate is if they go online to our website, and that's www.sos-usa.org, or they can call us at the office, and it's an 800 number, it's an 888 number, which is 888-767-4543.
Okay, well, knowing there are people trying to help seems to make us all feel a little more easy in our hearts, which is what Silver Linings is all about. Thanks so much for joining us, Chris.
Thank you, Gigi.
And thanks for watching this edition of Silver Linings. I'm Gigi Stone. Stay tuned to ABC News Now for more.